Welcome to our executive interview series at the Elastic Public Sector Summit presented by FedScoop. I'm Wyatt Cash and I'm here with Joanna Dempsey, Vice President of Cyber Solutions at ECS. Joanna, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I'd like to start by asking, what advantages do you see that powerful search, AI, and observability capabilities provide for agencies looking to effectively close the cybersecurity skills gap that many of them face?
Right. I think that's something that a lot of folks are trying to figure out. So between search, AI, and observability, we're generating a lot of data, and that data obviously has the potential to inform how we do things better, how we do things in a more informed, intelligent way. I think the obvious answer is that AI in particular can help to automate things that a human might find mundane, combing through stacks and stacks of log files, for example. There's the potential to automate the detection of anomalous events within that data set. So I think that, in some ways, the lower end of the pyramid of pain, so to speak, can benefit from the automation that we can gain through that data collection and artificial intelligence. But I also think conversely, I fear that the adversary is going to be accelerating their use of AI to result in a vast expansion of the number of threats. And so in some ways, I fear that this might actually result in us broadening the cybersecurity skills gap. I think we have the potential maybe to shift the types of training that we're engaging in and make sure that people are focused on the things that are less automatable through artificial intelligence, looking at patterns that can be derived through TTPs and looking at ways to potentially get ahead of the next threat. And so I remain optimistic, but also concerned that the adversary is going to have much more potential to weaponize AI, and that's something we all need to be vigilant about.
That's an important point. Next, I'd like to ask, as you know, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission recently issued a 4-day cyber incident disclosure rule. And I'm curious, how do you see those types of policies likely to impact government agencies and their efforts to modernize their security?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, so that is huge, right? And I think that it's going to take years for us to see the full impact of that new ruling. I think it has the potential to be, sort of analogous to what Sarbanes-Oxley was for the financial industry 20 years ago, in the sense that, it's not just about the disclosure, but it's about auditing the policies that agencies are putting in place to protect their assets and that private companies are engaging in as it relates to cybersecurity. It holds senior officials of the company liable for security incidents, and it creates a requirement to be able to detect and respond in a way that a lot of both private and public institutions have not historically been able to do. So I think when we look at that, it increases the role that we need to play in government in terms of how we help private entities comply with those rules, how we help them with the resources to better protect and defend their networks. CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency that I support, has a lot of very, very relevant, effective guidance out there for helping to augment, what they call target-rich, cyber-poor entities. So these are the smaller companies and entities that might not otherwise have the ability to protect themselves. So there's a lot of guidance that's emerging and resources that are emerging from CISA as well. The other thing that I'll add is that we are coming up on this summer getting more clarity into what the Critical Infrastructure Reporting Act is going to look like, CIRCIA, and the impact that will also have on critical infrastructure entities. So I think the SEC ruling really sort of marked the beginning of this trend that is going to completely transform how we all look at cyber policy and how we hold people accountable.
Well, Joanna Dempsey, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to join us here at the Elastic Public Sector Summit.
Thank you.